Marseille, France's beautiful metropolis on the Mediterranean, stays warm well into the wintertime. But since this summer, a shadow has fallen over the sunny city. Desperation is spreading behind this facade. The series of suicides at France's giant telecommunications firm, France Telecom, has hit the branch office in Marseille's commercial district hard. In mid-July, Michel Deparis asphyxiated himself with a plastic bag. It was the company's 23rd suicide in 18 months. His colleagues are distraught and angry.
This is the photo of our colleague who lost his life, all because of the working conditions here.
3 months later, Michel's colleagues still feel the same way. We met them in a park beside the office. France Telecom no longer permits filming on its premises. Michel Deparis left a farewell letter. The dedicated and well-liked technician wrote in a farewell note that his employers had driven him to suicide.
I have committed suicide because of my work at France Telecom. That's the sole reason. The constant time pressure, stress and no training, the company's complete disorganization. It is management by terror. This is also a defeat for all of us. Someone is going through this right beside you and you don't even notice. Of course, we didn't see each other every day, but I still ask myself why I didn't notice anything was wrong.
Nobody noticed how put upon Michel apparently felt.
Someone in our midst loses his life. That's what really upsets us. All the problems in the company, the restructurings, the cutbacks. We've discussed all of that for a long time. But now, for the first time, we see the direct consequences right among us. It really gets to you.
Michel wrote the first suicide note aimed directly at the management of the company, increasing the pressure on the bosses. CEO Didier Lombard is taking most of the flak. He's fired his top manager, who implemented the most extensive thrift plan in the history of the formerly state-owned company. The protests are against job cuts and the company policy that employees can be transferred every 3 years, even to another part of France. Many long-time employees are secure government fonctionnaires. As they can't be made redundant, they've been offered early retirement. They feel they're being mobbed. Now the restructuring policies have been suspended.
We have to intensify our efforts in order to stop this hellish spiral. We have to stop this wave of suicides.
Although the company's suicide rate isn't higher than in French society in general, the suicides are occurring in the middle section of society, people who in France are expected to function. On the way to the next interview appointment, news of another incident breaks.
Once again, an employee of France Telecom Marseille has attempted to kill himself. The man was devastated by his colleague's suicide in July. He was rescued just at the last moment.
The technician is brought to the emergency room of this hospital. He survived because he'd sent a suicide text message to his supervisor and his family. They called the medics, who came 5 minutes before he would have died. Journalists are already gathering in front of France Telecom's Marseille office. As so often since the beginning of the suicide series, the company is making no comment. We meet the employees again. They're shocked.
I last worked on a project with him in September. I knew him. He was on sick leave at the time.
He was on leave because of depression, discovered by the new early warning system at France Telecom. That's one of the executive board's new measures.
On the national level, they've launched many measures. But here on the local level, hardly anything has changed. A lot is being done on the surface, in every department. Now they're stopping the mandatory transfers, but essentially, nothing has changed.
A more humane workplace is what they want. Management is responding, but apparently not enough to stop the wave of suicides. Michel Deparis was laid to rest here in the cemetery of his hometown in the countryside where his parents come from. The dark shadow that the suicides have cast on beautiful Marseille remains.